Hi everyone, I'm Will from Will's Electrical Services, also known as the Midfield General. In today's episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you around a few of the drills that I use for drilling through wood and all that. What I will show you is a few drill bits I use. I appreciate with the drill bits, they're not probably the best quality, but for price and performance, I'll show you why I use them. Yeah, the three drills I'm going to show you my combi 18. These are all M18 drills. I've got the Holehawg here. I've got the 1 key combi and the 1 key impact driver as well. And what I'll do is I'll give you a quick little chat about them now, and then I'll bring you in and show you closely. Yeah. So the first drill, which Ollie tends to use, is the impact, which is lovely because it's nice and tight and compact. Personally, I'm not very keen on the impact driver. One, because I don't like the sound and the noise it makes, you know, it's quite noisy. Obviously we wear ear defenders and gloves when we use all these, but this particular one, quick, powerful. So most of the drill bits we use all have the 1/4 inch hex on them, so that's why that favours the drill bits that we choose, but you'll see that later on in the episode anyway. So this one here, this impact driver, is the M18 FID. Beautiful little drill. It's, as I say, it's a 1 key. It comes with 3 different settings and it comes with a self tapper. Obviously you can program it via the app, but I've never got round to sussing it out, to be honest. But you know, if any of you have as well and you find any benefits, please leave a comment below. I'll be interested to hear, you know. And also we've got this. This is an absolute monster of a drill. I know, like, I'm an 18 stone man, and this is an 18. This model is the M18 1PD. This is an absolute monster. I tell you, it is so powerful. That's half the reason why Ollie prefers to use this than this, because it's caught him out a couple of times and smashed him around the face. You know what I mean? Because it is so powerful. Remember when Bosch brought out them 18 volt SDS drills, and then they brought out the combi drill to match the batteries, and they were like they're ripping people's arms off and all that. That's like this, mate. I tell you, this is so powerful. It's incredible. It's like it even eats away the chuck. You know what I mean? It's so powerful. It's like cannibalised. I've got about 3 of these, and like this is the second one. This one hasn't gone quite bad, but one of the other ones, the battery, the actual chuck is gone. You know what I mean? I need to buy a replacement one, but for the price and all that, you can't complain. It is by far the best combi I've ever had. You know, I've had Hilti ones, I've had DeWalt ones, and I used to like the Hilti stuff, but the thing I find with Hilti is that they're always too slow. They're a bit heavier, because a lot of people always buy the Hilti ones thinking that they're going to be the best, but the thing is with the Hilti ones is that they go for the health and safety. They don't want no vibrations and all that, which you know, when I had them, I was a bit disappointed with the performance of them, to be honest. That's why, you know, we'll say that's why I got rid of them. Luckily enough, someone robbed my van and took them off my hands. Really, fucking wankers, but it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, so this is the 1 key. It's got obviously it's got the drill, it's got the self tapper, it's got the hammer on it. I never use the hammer. I always use the SDS. I just always think that, you know, I never even have the bits ready for it. But yeah, and this also has a 30mm chuck on it. Yeah, and this little bad boy is the Holehawg. Sorry about the state of it, but last time I used it, I was mixing up plaster for bonding for a rewire we done. So this particular model is, I think this is a 2016, and that is the fuel brushless. I know it does come with a few different models now as well, but this one's a beauty. It only comes with, this particular model only comes with 1 speed and all that, and it's got the 30mm chuck. I love the chuck key. The chuck key usually sits in there, but I just have a normal one now. It works just as fine. The light that is there, it's beautiful. It's got the directional switches there. It's beautiful. The only thing is with this is that we only use it for drilling joists or studs. So, you know, unless we've got like quite a few holes, then I'll just use that, and I'll use that. But if not, we just use that. What is nice with this is that it's evenly balanced, you know, so you're quite comfortable. So if it's on the floor, you're just banging away. What we tend to do is we either set up the laser, or if it's too light, we're ping a line. and we get that. And what usually tends to get with that is the straighter the lines, the easier the cables will sail through the holes. And obviously with the Holehawg, where it's an angle drill, it's easier to keep it. It's easier to keep the hole level, which is obviously, as you all know, is critical. And same with the impact as well. It's easier to keep it level because of how shallow the head is within the joist. Yeah, it's beautiful. But yeah, well, what I do is I bring you in a little bit closer, and we can have a little bit of a closer look at them all. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the handle that it comes with. I've got to be honest, it's probably the first time I've ever put it on there. I do sometimes, if Ollie uses it, Ollie's my apprentice, he's only about 11 stone. Sometimes if he uses it, I make him use it. This drill for an 18 volt is amazing. Honestly, it is so powerful. It is terrifying. You know, I'm like an 18 stone man, and it's sprained my wrist a couple of times, and Ollie's had it where it's kicked up and smashed him in the face. That's why he prefers to use the impact. But I'll show you the impact in a bit. But this particular kit drill is my favourite. You know, it is so powerful. It's unbelievable. It's like when you first ever go on a motocross bike, you know, like a 250 YZ or something like that, you just absolutely shit yourself. This drill's the same, honestly. The last drill I felt the same like that. It was, remember when Bosch used to do the 24 volt drills and all that, and they were ridiculous. They were spinning people's wrists off like nobody's business. This is very similar. It is so powerful. But I prefer this. I prefer this to most of my drill bits and all that. The only problem is that obviously with a drill bit, you've not got so much there. But if we're doing 1 or 2 holes, then I prefer to use that. If we're doing any more, then I'll bring the Holehawg out from the van, because obviously the Holehawg we only really use for doing woods, and unless we've got a big timber frame or we know we're going to do over like 5 or 10 holes, then I'll bring it in. But other than that, I tend to use this. It's a beautiful drill, and obviously it's very handy. I use it. The only problem is like I said earlier, is that the weight of it, because it's got all metal gearing and all that, there is, you know, it is very heavy, but it is powerful. And unlike, as I explained to you before, what I do like about the M18 is that the actual battery charger is built onto the battery, so you don't actually need the tool to see how charged it is. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. One of the drawbacks of these is that the chuck isn't as good a quality as the drill. Honestly, it eats them up. I've got about 3 of these now, and I think I've got one without a chuck, and this one's going out. But I'm going to replace them, you know what I mean? It's like, I think when I bought these, they're about 95 quid, I think, when I bought them. I think, like, if you probably buy them now, bare unit, they're probably about 120, but you ain't never buying a drill like that for 120. Honestly, it's absolutely amazing, the sheer power, and it has got so much kick on it when it goes off and all that. And unless you treat it with respect, you know, and I know it sounds a bit stupid saying that about an 18 volt drill, but it's got some fucking go in it, I tell you. You've got to be very careful. Yeah, right, I'll show you a close-up at the end, but I'll do it with all 3 drills. I'll just grab the, yeah, so this is the impact drill. This is the M18 FID. This has only got 1 speed, but it's a keyless, so it's got 3 channels that you can, 3 channels and a self-tapping module that you can set it to. This is an absolute beautiful little drill. It's nice and light. I know there is a couple more models up since then. I think it's got the surge and all that. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the impact drivers. I don't like the noise of them, the noise that they make when they're hammering along. I do like how light and easy they are. You know, they're obviously a lot smaller and a lot more comfortable to use than that. I'll just grab a little bit for you. So obviously, they've got the quarter inch shut, so obviously all these bits are good for them, you know. Yeah. Lovely. The only problem is with the impact, I just don't like the noise of it. It just winds me up. You have to wear, well, you should wear ear defenders with them all anyway. It's just that it's so loud, it's unbearable. But yeah, Ollie prefers to use this because you don't get no kickbacks, because it's impacting. You don't get no kickbacks. It's not so dangerous. The only problem is that it does leave a bit of a rough hole, really. But it's all right. You know, it's handy for a couple of holes, but I don't like it because of the noise. Yeah. What I do now is I bring in the Holehawg, and I'll give you a quick. Right, this is my 18 volt Holehawg. I've got the 5 amp power battery in there. It's also the one with the 13mm chuck in it. It does come. Milwaukee do one where it's got their own, where it attaches their own bits, where it's speed bits. But obviously over here in the UK, we don't really get hold of their bits so easily, and I'd rather just use my own bits than rather be tied to one thing. It comes with the chuck key is usually there, but I've lost mine, but I just use my normal one. It's a normal size one. This one's a bit dirty because on the last rebuy I used it for knocking up some bonding. So, but yeah, it's beautiful. What I do like about this, and also very similar to the Impact, is with a bit in there is how narrow it is, so it can go in between the joists and the struts, you know, all the studs. But I'll get the Impact. Yeah, so this Impact is actually a lot more shallower. See that? Can you see that from there? What I do is when I bring the camera in, I'll show you. But yeah, it's nice. This is only just got one key. It goes through. Yeah. What I do is I'll quickly bring you in, have a quick look, and see what you think. Yeah, so this is the close-up of my Holehawg. So basically, what you've got is you've got the trigger there. You've got the directional things there. So back and forth. And there, you swap it there. Yeah, and this has got its own chuck, which you can undo. It's also got the LED light there, which is quite handy, but it's not essential, you know. Lovely little bit of kit, I tell you. It's very nice. It's very nice because it's supposed to be balanced. So when you're doing it underneath the floor, it's very comfortable to use, which I agree with. You know, and it's quite nice because unlike the others where it's just one-handed. Yeah, and this is my Impact drill. Yeah, which I don't ever really use this. It's only Ollie that uses it because he feels a bit more comfortable. But this isn't the Surge version, it's the 1 key. But yeah, once again, it's got the direction and it's got the LED torch there. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's got the 1 key, so it's got the 1, 2, 3 and the self-tapping mode. You just have to press the button and it moves them across and it changes the speed. I've never been bored enough to sort that out and have a look, see what that does, because all the standard settings are ideal for me. Yeah, and now we've got the 1 key 18 volt. This is a beauty. I absolutely love this drill. So on the top of this one, you've got the Bluetooth setting. So obviously then you can change the setting on the bottom there. Can you see that? And you know, all 4, I'll just keep that, 1 for drilling, 1 for screwing and 1 for hammering. I never really use the hammer drill on this. I'm sure I've covered it on my SDS drills. I don't really see the point. Yeah, it's obviously got all the different settings. This drill is so powerful, it's unbelievable. Yeah, so you've got 1 and 2 speeds on it. You've obviously got the trigger, you've got the lovely LED at the bottom, you've got the directional switch there, and you've got the 1 keys buttons there, yeah. This drill is awesome. The only drawback is that where it's so powerful, it just eats away at the chuck. You know, see where that chuck is like that? It actually starts off looking like that. Then it becomes that. I can't fault the drill for the price for what it is. I know, but you could probably have that as a drawback towards it. But the drill's an absolute monster, I tell you. It is frightening. Hi everyone, yeah, so I'll just quickly show you. When I first started, what we used to tend to use is that we always used to use 110 drills, you know, to drill them out, obviously with a chuck. And we used to use these bits, the auger bits with the self-tapper. The only problem is that they used to burn the clutch out on the 110 drills and it just weren't too efficient. And obviously with technology improving, like with the Holehawg, the combi and all that, then we moved off from these. What I tend to go for is I went for these types. Because obviously the Impact and all of that, I went to these blue grooves.
you know, which these were quite expensive. I think they're about 20 quid for a pack, you know, and like they were very similar to the Bosch self-cut ones. I didn't really respect them, so, you know, but they were lovely bits in the day, you know. We still use them every now and then. And then also, what other bits that we have, you know, there's other bits. So it's like you've obviously got this Armeg set, you know, the nail-proof one, which I never trust any of that. I just think it's complete and utter nonsense, you know what I mean? But the only problem is with that is that that's got the bigger shank on it, so obviously we can't use that in the impacts, but that's perfectly fine in the combi as well as the Holehawg. Then we've got this little set. This is incomplete, obviously. I didn't get on too well with these. The only problem is that you don't really know, because, you know, every house is different. Sometimes you go through triple joist, you know, sometimes you've got 12 inches of it's oak to go through, you know. It depends on the, you know, whether you're hitting knots or anything, you know, like so. But yeah, I didn't get on too well with those parts. We've also got these. I've used these quite a few times. These are pretty good. The only problem is with these that are in these packets is that they're quite a lot more expensive than the last ones I'm going to show you. So obviously you got the CK Fast 4. These are pretty good. You know, these actually have 4. See where that's got 3. That's actually got 4. I don't know if you can see that from there, but yeah, they're pretty good, and they leave a clean hull. The only problem is that the 32 doesn't have the 1/4 inch that can't go in the impact. Yeah, but the other 3 can. They're a nice little bit, but these are my favourite bits. You know, it's just mainly through the price as well. These speed cuts, we use these all the time. Half the reason is going back to these long bits is that we went through. We had to buy a load of. We've done a job in Walken where we had to buy a load of these 20mm long ones, which was, you know, quite frustrating really, because of the length of them and all that. And as soon as they go dull, they're no good to no one. So what I thought was, I looked on Amazon and all that, and I see all these 300mm like extension bits. I've got quite a few of them because obviously I wanted to try out and find which ones were best. Yeah. And obviously that you can fit all these little bits in there. Look, I'll show you. So you've obviously got all these. So I'll get that 20mm one out. Yeah. What I tend to find is I've got a Weir one here. I've got Irwin, Milwaukee. That's Irwin as well, and that's also Milwaukee. I did also have a CK one, but unfortunately the CK one sheared off. It actually sheared off on the shank, not the actual bit. Some of the problems you get with these type is that the CK one is identical to this. So I don't know if it's the actual same one. Is that you slip it back and you push it in, yeah, and then that locks in. It's okay. The only trouble is if you drill about 20 holes, all of a sudden that locks in and you can't get it out, which that is obviously playing up now. So yeah, I'll deal with that later. This one, the magnet on this one is incredibly strong. This Weir one, if I was to get one, I'd get that one, a Weir one. It is so strong. What the problem is that obviously if you're drilling through a triple joist, or you're drilling through like a 12-inch oak, which we done on that house that I was on about, is that once you're drilling through, you've either got to commit to the hole, you've either got to have it on one like this where it won't fall out, because obviously you've got to keep clearing the hole, so it's a bit difficult. So if you've got one like this, you've got to commit to it, and you've got to go all the way through it, else you're just going to lose the bit. The bit's going to get lost in there and you're never going to get it. But you know, it's food for thought. But I prefer these Bosch speed cut ones just because of the price of them. You know, you can usually get them for about 12 quid, and what's that, like about 2 quid each. So, you know, if they come and go, you know, why not? You know what I mean? Because these bits usually are about 7 quid, and they're 2 quid. That's 9 quid. And then you've got, you know, you can use them forever, where these are just pony. Just don't last too long, and, you know, they're just very poor. But yeah, these are also the Bosch ones that I used. I got recommended these on Instagram, and I've got to admit, I didn't think they were very good, really. They were like, where the self-tap didn't have the self-feed. I hope you know what I mean by self-feed. See where it's got this screw type at the end, where it screws in, you know, so once that bites, it's only ever going to pull through. It's beautiful, that is. It works so well. And yeah, unfortunately, I was quite disappointed by these ones. And then these ones, I was recommended to buy a chippy, and I never got on with them. It's obviously because they haven't got the 1/4 inch. These were just an Amazon special. I've not really tried them, to be honest. I might give them a try. We've got an extension coming up in a couple of weeks. I might give them a try on that. Right, and then also once I open all these packs up, they all go into this little tub here, where I've just got a graveyard full of shitty old bits.
Right, unfortunately that brings us to the end of another episode. If you could like, subscribe and follow, or whatever you want to do. Right, anyway, it's lovely been having you, and I'll see you later, alligator up the old blues. See you in the next episode.